Okay, so we'd like you to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your husband. For example, what happened during his stroke?
Okay, it was a basic Thursday night. We went to bed. He had worked the day before. You'd never know anything was wrong. And I heard him about 3:30 Friday morning. I just assumed that he was getting up for a glass of milk and maybe a cookie like his normal nighttime snack. And when I got up at 6 to get him ready for his little part-time job, I didn't think somebody was in the bed when I went upstairs to get him. And I flipped the light on right quick, and sure enough, somebody wasn't. And I went around on the other side of the bed, and he was laying in the floor. And I could just instantly tell something was wrong because he couldn't speak, he couldn't move. So, of course, down the stairs I went to grab the cell phone and call 911. And I don't think he ever lost consciousness or anything like that. It's just that he couldn't communicate with me at all. He could not speak one word, nothing. So we got him to the hospital, started all the intensive therapy, all the intensive workup and everything there. And that's when they basically determined, yes, that he had had a severe stroke. This was his third one. His first one was and you wouldn't really call it a stroke, in 2008. He had what they call a curtain effect. His vision, watching TV one night, he said, I can only see half of the TV screen. And I went, what? And we thought, well, it's just some fluke, and we brush it off like a lot of people do. But then it happened a second time. So we went to see an eye doctor, and that's when the eye doctor said, no, this is something neurological type. And so they sent us over to his neurologist, and the doctor said no. So they did a CAT scan, and sure enough, his carotid artery was like 80% blocked, so he wasn't getting the blood flow. We did the surgery, opened this up, cleaned it out in 2008. Then this past September 2012, we were doing 70 miles an hour down the interstate, and his curtain effect this time went from the right over, and he whipped off the interstate right quick, and he said, you've got to drive. Well, that's very unusual. And I said, what's wrong? And he says, well, I can't see that car on my right side. And I said, oh. So the next exit, there happened to be a hospital, and 911 directed me into the hospital. And sure enough, they confirmed with the CAT scan there that he had had a mild TIA, and got him stabilized and everything. We were within an hour and a half of home. They confirmed that I could bring him back, and we put him back into the hospital there. Got him on statin type drugs, got his cholesterol and everything under control. This time we had a major blood clot that went back into the same carotid artery, blocked it 100%, and this time he had a massive stroke. So, wow, yeah.
So what was the result of him having that stroke? He had the physical issues,
yeah.
And
his total right side is totally paralyzed. His speech was totally taken away. The only thing that he could say for weeks was air and bear. That's the only thing we could get to come out. And then a few other little sounds began to come out. They started the speech therapy with him in the hospital. Once we got out of the hospital and got to inpatient rehab, they started working with him an hour a day, and didn't really get a lot of speech, got some speech, but began to were helping me kind of understand, to help understand more gestures that he was making and things like this. When we got through with that, we went home, and then it was 3 days a week for an hour a day. And, that was okay. We had a really good teacher in outpatient, and our therapist in outpatient, but still 1 hour a day, 3 days a week is not going to make it,
Do you have any advice that you would give to other families with aphasia or other caregivers about aphasia or about your experience?
Yeah, don't just, I had so many people tell me, that whatever you get in 6 months, that's what you're going to get. And that's not it. Don't give up. Keep working at it. Get help with the aphasia. The aphasia, it can be addressed. It can be improved. There's a better quality of life out there. You've just got to do the digging and the homework and get it done, and don't give up on them, because there is a better quality of life out there.